guys, it's Lotus and welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna do a tier list maker. It's been a while since I did one of these, and the topic is fanfiction tropes. This is a great way for you guys to learn more about the types of tropes that I like, and for me to learn what you guys like as well. So comment down below what your favorite fanfiction tropes are, if any of them on the list are on here, or if there are some that aren't on here that you would add if you could. So yeah, let's jump right into listing these tropes. This is a pre-made one, so I will link it in the description if you want to list out the tropes for yourself to kind of rank them. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on my ranking, if you agree or disagree, and how you would do your own. So actually, before we jump into it, I want to add one more category. Well, you know what? S, A, B, C, D is fine. S tier would be like ultimate, like my ideal trope, the tropes that I would love to see in fiction when I read. D would, it's so like I don't want to include F because there's nothing that I don't want to hate on any particular trope, because you know it's subjective, right? Something that I might not be into is something that someone else really likes. So to each their own. So I guess the lowest tier would be D, which is just not my cup of tea, but I'm not hating on it. Okay? Yeah. So this is all just in good fun. But yeah, let's start ranking. Okay. So first up we have ABO, Alpha, Beta, Omega, ABO, and usually this is for BL. You know, you see ABO and BL a lot. My thoughts. I think for ABO, I don't mind it, but I think it really depends on the dynamics and how it's done, because sometimes they often it'll get really political, where the Omegas are always really oppressed and then the Alphas are really mean, and there's such a big power imbalance that it can get kind of messy. So I don't dislike it, but at the same time, I like the prospect of them being able to have kids like Omegas, but at the same time, sometimes it can get really awkward the way authors will portray it. Just from what I've seen, but there are some good ones that I've seen out there. So for me, it's I would put it in the middle. Then I don't like, it's not my top tier trope, but I don't dislike it. I won't avoid it. Let's say. Okay, next, amnesia fic. Amnesia. I love that shit. I love amnesia fic so much because there's so much potential for angst and miscommunication, and then also learning to love again, that type of thing. It's kind of romantic. I mean, first of all, in real life, amnesia is terrible. You do not want to have amnesia. You don't want anyone to have amnesia. It's terrible. It's scary. If you can't remember things, that's really bad. But in fan fiction or in fiction, I do enjoy the amnesia trope, because then you get to see couples again learn to love again, or relearn what they like about each other. You know, and amnesia tropes also goes hand in hand with fake dating sometimes, or like mistaken identity, which I also really like. So I do really like the amnesia trope. Also, it's very common in K-dramas, amnesia, at least in the older K-dramas, they would always have toward the end or middle, and like after the climax, they would have a scene where the male lead gets into an accident, and then he can't remember the female lead, and then the second female lead, who was the rival of the main female lead, tries to steal him away, and there's a lot of miscommunication and angst, and it's messy, but like a good messy. And then when they finally get their memory back, chef's kiss. It's amazing. They're like, I knew, even without my memory, I knew that I loved you. That type of thing. I think that's really romantic. Okay? Next is angst. Ugh. Okay, so I did say amnesia fics are a great breeding ground for angst, but I don't like hardcore angst. I like something that's like soft angst, that you feel a little bit hurt and bittersweet, but then there's a lot of happiness and endorphins that are released after. I don't like things that end badly or sadly. I don't like sad endings. I'm not really even into bittersweet endings, to be honest. I like to have closure with my stories. I read fiction to escape from reality, because again, as I said in the past, reality sometimes is not so nice, and so you read fiction to get like the happy ending, the happily ever after that you want. So for me, angst is gonna be in the D tier because I don't go out of my way to read angst. If angst is a component of a story but isn't the end game, then I don't mind it. But if it's gonna be all angst, no, all what is it? The term is all hurt, no comfort or something, then I tend to stay away from that. Next is arranged marriage. Ooh, okay. So A tier. It's, again, it's not my S tier, but I really do highly regard arranged marriage because I do like, in real life, arranged marriages might not be great. It might actually suck because you lose independence and autonomy and choice. But in fan fiction, I do like arranged marriage because you get to see the two in the relationship learn to love each other. Because not always will you have the love at first sight. You know, that, again, that's very, very, like, that's the ideal, like love at first sight, but it's not practical. It's not, let's say it's not the usual, right? So arranged marriage, I think, is more common than love at first sight. And it's interesting that you see how like a relationship can progress from strangers to maybe enemies or to friends, and then it goes slowly into love. And then they're already like married, so there's already like a domestic component to it, which I love domestic fics. I love them so much. So yes, arranged marriage. Okay, baby fic. Okay, baby fic. I like that. I would put it again with ABO because I feel it's kind of similar with the whole having a kid. Also, I think it depends, like how the baby came about. Like if it's gonna be a sad story, then I don't know. I don't want the baby to become a catalyst for like angst again. So I do like baby fics. I think they're adorable. I love to see when characters interact with kids because it shows you how nurturing they are. But it's like, I'll take it if it's there, but if it's not there, I'm not gonna wish that it was there, you know? Okay. Next, sharing a bed. Ooh, sharing a bed. Sharing a bed is nice. Like, oh no, they're staying at a hotel, but they can only afford one bed. And so they have to share. I see that a lot in K-dramas where they'll be renting a room and there's only one room left with one bed. Oftentimes, though, they don't share the bed. Like the guy will normally sleep on the floor and the girl will take the bed. Or if it's like in a BL, then they'll share the bed, but they like face opposite directions, and then in the middle of the night they somehow end up with their limbs entangled, and then they wake up and then they're like sleeping on each other's shoulder or something, which is so cute. But yeah, sharing a bed's really nice. That's like a chance for the characters to be really unguarded and to be more vulnerable, right? Because when you're sleeping, you're generally not on guard, and then so for them to like subconsciously or unconsciously reach out for each other and cuddle, that's really cute. Those are cute moments. Bang or die. Bang or die. Okay, I'll put it here with B. Again, it's mid-tier for me, just because I think it depends on my mood, you know? Like, sometimes you want a story that's really intricately thought out, and you want plot, and you want character building and world building, and you want slow burn. Like, sometimes you want that slow burn, and sometimes you just want smut. And that's okay. I think it depends on the time of day, or, you know, again, it depends on my mood. Sometimes I really want to just have characters, you know, eating each other's face off. And then sometimes I want them to really be all, like, embarrassed and flustered and, you know, like a first love type of situation. So it really depends for me. Body swap. Ooh, I love body swap. I love this. I wish there were a lot more shows like this with body swap. There are a bunch of K-dramas like this, but I wish there were more. And normally the body swap is not necessarily between couples. Well, actually, I think there was Secret Garden, right? Was an old one that had a body swap, and then there was one with Gong Yu in it, who it was called Big, where he switched with a teenager, but it wasn't like he didn't switch with like his partner. He switched with another character. Yeah. Body swap, I think, has a lot of potential for funny situations because they have to learn how to act like the other, and then they end up getting like embarrassed, and people think it's weird, or people think, why are you acting like so and so? Like, have you been hanging around them too much? And it's even better when buy swap happens between enemies, like, you know, because then you know that the enemies, they have to like call a truce, and they have to work together to figure out how to switch back. So it's a great trope for learning how to communicate and learning how to go from enemies to lovers, you know? Again, and for me, enemies to lovers is also a trope that I really like. It's on this list. I will rank it soon, but I love enemies to lovers. That's one of my top tier, ultimate S class tropes. Coffee shop AU. Okay, coffee shop AU, I'm gonna put it in C. Not that I dislike it, but I often like to have a little bit more action or psychological components to the stories that I read. So often I find coffee shop AUs to be a little bit too chill for me. Like, I think it depends on what I'm in the mood for. So if I'm looking for something that's really cutesy and lighthearted, slice of life and domestic, then coffee shop AU is great. But often I like things that are a little bit more like dark, I guess, like in terms of psychological, like, oh, they can't live without each other, like they literally are consuming each other, that type of thing. Like if I were to say some of my favorite shows, for example, I'd say NBC's Hannibal, and you know that their relationship is kind of toxic, but they're kind of symbiotic and codependent on each other, and in real life that's bad. It's not healthy to be in a relationship like that, but in fiction I do like some codependency in fan fiction. It's just another way for them to show how devoted they are to each other, which I enjoy. So often coffee shop AU is a little too vanilla for me, but I do enjoy reading it sometimes if I want something that's just lighthearted and fluffy. College AU, again, similar to coffee shop, college AU, I guess it really depends. College AU is very general, because anything can happen at college. It could be like sports related, it could be bullying. Oh, I hate bullying. I hate whenever bullying happens in fics or in shows. It gets me like so boiled, because why do people gotta be so mean, right? So I get nervous when I see college AU, just because and even for like K-dramas, like I get nervous when there's dramas that take place like in school, because I'm like, oh my god, I know there's gonna be a group of bullies or outcasts or something, and I don't wanna have to see that. That sounds real. It seems like it's gonna be like stressful. I don't know. I don't like seeing bullying. So for me, college AU, if there's no bullying and it just focuses on them maybe falling in love or maybe being rivals in school, that's cute. So I do like that. Crackfic, okay, I do actually, it's pretty high up because I do actually enjoy crackfics. I think sometimes it's just so funny to see characters be OOC, because that's one of the reasons that we read fanfiction, right? To see the characters do things that they wouldn't do in canon because they weren't written to do those things. So when you give writers the power to make the characters do what they want, sometimes they'll be a little OOC, a little crack, and that's okay, because, you know, we need a little humor and comedy in our life, so I do enjoy crackfics. Next, crossover. Ooh. Okay, I do love crossovers in general. Like, for example, when it comes to Marvel, I do love how all the different, like, the MCU has different crossovers with characters, and sometimes I'll read things where I feel like, oh, this story is kind of similar to that story. I wonder if it would be great to have a crossover. I do enjoy those. But only if they make sense. So I wouldn't put like two random stories together and be like, I just want them to interact. I feel like the stories or like the universes have to make sense. So for example, I always imagine it'd be great to have a crossover of like Kuroshitsuji, like Black Butler, and Pandora Hearts, because they're both Victorian era and they both have powers, and I feel like it'd be really interesting to see how like Sebastian and CL interact with Oz, you know? I think that'd be cool. Or, you know, like Black Butler and D. Gray Man. Again, Victorian England, demons, exorcisms, like there's a lot of common elements, so I think it'd be really cool for them to meet each other. And then also in K-dramas too. Like, for example, I think it'd be really cool if, especially like if there's an actor who's been in many shows that I enjoyed. So for example, Lee Dong-wook, I love him so much. He was in Strangers from Hell, who played, again, a cannibalistic dentist, serial killer. And then he was in Bad and Crazy as Soo-yul. So I think it'd be really interesting if maybe he met, like, his doppelganger, you know? Or, like, an alternate version of himself. Or, you know, maybe he's like, you know, dies and reincarnates into another show, that type of thing. Like, I think that's really cool. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like crossovers? Okay, dark fic. Ooh, okay. Yes, I do love me some dark fics. But when I say dark, I don't mean like character death dark, or like that type of thing. I don't like that. I like dark, like again, psychological dark. So again, some of my favorite shows are Strangers from Hell, NBC's Hannibal, Bad and Crazy, The Devil Judge. I like when the characters are maybe ambiguously moral, or like one of the male lead is a serial killer, but he has a obsession with the other main character, and it's like they're in a weird dance with each other, and the one character makes the other one worse, or one makes the other one better. Either way, either direction is great. I love that stuff. I love when one character can change the other so intrinsically that at the end they can't dare to be apart from each other. I love that. I love that so much. So in fiction, again, in fiction, in real life, say no to toxic relationships. Okay. Major character death is a no. No, it's even worse than angst. At least angst you can recover from that. Major character death, unless you have like ghosts or something, major character death, once they're dead, and I don't read fiction to have my favorite characters die, so that's a big no for me. Unless, you know, again, they resurrect or something, but when they say major character death, I'm assuming it's pretty final, so I'm not really a big fan of major character death. Okay, next, canon divergence, S tier. And I think this is pretty much, it goes without saying that canon divergence happens in like all fan fiction, because if you're writing something that didn't happen in canon, it's diverging from canon, hence canon divergence. And I do like when I see authors like writing for a show, for example, like let's say I'm reading a fanfic about Strangers from Hell, again, one of my favorite shows, and let's say they continue the ending, they rewrite the ending, or they change how certain things happened, how certain characters interacted. I love that. It gives them more depth, it gives you more of an insight into how their mind could have worked if we got to see them monologue more and not just see what's on the surface based on what the writers of the show gave us. So yes, canon divergence all the way. Enemies to lovers, also, like I said before, one of my top tier tropes, enemies to lovers. I love that because it can include so many things. Enemies to lovers can be dark. Enemies to lovers can happen because of a body swap. It can happen because of amnesia. Like maybe they were enemies and then they became lovers, but then because of amnesia, they're enemies again. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow. Enemies to lovers can work with arranged marriage as well. And then when enemies to lovers have to share a bed, oh, that's some of the best stuff. Okay. Oh, enemies to lovers and bang or die. Like, you know, they don't want to, but they kind of want to, and it's like, ooh, you know. Okay, sorry. Established relationship, I love that too. Again, it depends on, I guess, what point of the relationship they're in. Like, is this post-canon? Is this during canon? Are we given a relationship, like, are we shown how are we gonna get flashbacks of how they became established? I like to see, like, you know, people go more into depth about the facets of couples' relationships. I like that. Fairy Tail AU. For me, it's mid. Fairy Tail, I think it depends on what kind. Like, I'm not really into adventuring that much. Like, let's say, you know, like Fairy Tail or the 7 Deadly Sins. I'm not really into guilds. Like, so if Fairy Tail AU involves guilds and monster hunting and tower, what is it called? Tower, you know, like when you're invading the tower, that type of thing. That's not my, like, go-to choice. Just like I'm not really into sci-fi, interstellar stuff. I like sci-fi aliens, but I'm not into sci-fi interstellar, if that makes sense. So, like, mecha, sci-fi mecha stuff. I'm not really into that. But Again, if that's just a backdrop and the story itself is good, then I will still read it. I do like time travel though, or isekai. So oftentimes isekai happens with fairy tale settings. So if it's like a modern person isekai into a fairy tale setting, I do like that. Or time travel. If there's time travel involved, like someone from the modern world time traveling back into the past, that's kind of fairy tale-ish. I do like that too. But I think it depends. Fake relationship, yes. This fake relationship kind of goes hand in hand with my arranged marriage trope. Like, I like how established relationship and fake relationship are together, but I like them about the same amount. I like when, again, especially if they don't like each other really, but they're just faking it because of a common purpose, and then they end up actually liking each other, and then they feel awkward because they don't know if one or the other actually wants to be in the relationship, and then there's miscommunication and angst, but then they overcome it and then become a real couple. I love the journey. Love the journey, guys. Fix it fic. Yes. Fix it fic. Especially for post-canon. Whenever there's an ending that I'm sad about, like if a character dies, for example, then fix it fic. They don't die. Or if someone's left behind, Kang Yohan leaving Kim Ga-won behind. I did a whole video about, I pretty much did a whole fix it fic video because I wanted Kang Yohan to pick Kim Ga-won up and bring him back to Switzerland. So yes, one of my top tier tropes because I don't like angst or sadness and I want closure. So fix it fics normally give me closure, so I appreciate it. Fluff, yes. So I know I said that sometimes coffee shop AUs and college AUs are too fluffy for me, but fluff itself, I like it. Like, just like in general fluff, I do really enjoy it. Because you like to see the characters be cute, you like to see them get flustered and blush and realize that they're, oh my gosh, I'm acting kind of out of character. I'm normally not like this. But why does my heart feel like this? Also, what do they think of me? That type of thing. I love fluff. Friends to lovers? Yes, again, A tier, pretty high up. I do like friends to lovers. However, if you see, I put enemies to lovers higher and S tier because I do like enemies to lovers more than friends to lovers, but I do like this, especially if it's like childhood friends to lovers, because they, like, you know, they might act like bros with each other, but then the relationship deepens and they get jealous and they realize, actually, I think I like you more than a friend. Yeah. Genfic, I put it in C just because it's Gen, and I generally like to have romance in the fics that I read. I like the romantic components of a fic. Gen is cute though if you just want something that's like friendship based. So for example, if I'm not interested in a group of people being a couple, but like being friends or being a family fics are generally, I would put Gen and family fics together. So I do like seeing family fics, like domestic type of stuff. Yeah, but I put that under C because I don't like it as much as like some of the others. Hurt comfort, yeah, hurt comfort. That's what I meant. I don't like pure angst, but I like when there's a little bit and then they get comforted after, and then everything's all right and nothing hurts and everything's beautiful. Historical AU, ooh, I do like that. I like that actually more than fairy tale for some reason, because the historical AU kind of gives you the chance for time travel. I think fairy tale AU is more isekai and historical is more for time travel, and I love time travel so much. I really like Outlander, the TV show, because it's about this British lady from like World War II who time travels back to like Scotland, like in like the 1700s or something. And so I love when someone from the future has to learn how to handle and live and survive in the past, and then the people from the past are like, who is this weirdo? They don't know any of our customs. They're kind of suspicious. Are they a witch? Are they a demon? Who are they? It's like, no, I'm just some dude from the future. Like, I love that. And there's a lot of potential, especially if you're reading historical danmei. Like, so for example, there's quite a bit of modal zushi time travel fics. Like, oh, what if like Wei Ying was reincarnated in the modern day, and then he like somehow ends up back in like historical Gusu or something, you know, the cloud recesses, and everyone's like, who? I thought the Yiling patriarch was dead, and then you know, Wei Ying's like, who's the Yiling patriarch? I learned about him in a history book, but I'm just some dude, you know? I don't know how I ended up here. I've seen a fics like that, and those are really fun to read. I love time travel and historical fics. Okay, high school AU. I would put that with college AU. So where did I put college? Oh no, school. Okay, yeah. So high school and college, it's about the same, you know? I put them about the same. Actually, I feel like high school AU would have more chances of bullying than college, so I put that here toward the end. I don't like bullying. I don't like seeing bullying in fics. It makes my heart hurt. Huddle for warmth. Yes, nice. This goes with sharing a bed. This also goes with hurt and comfort, especially if they're like, can you imagine if someone's hurt and you're like, oh my gosh, you're freezing. You know, I'm not necessarily that close with you. I'm gonna share my body heat with you to make sure that you don't die. Like, that's kind of, there's potential there, you know, guys. Okay, I'm talking too much. I'm gonna try to get through these a little faster. Okay, humor. Love humor. Honestly, laughter is the best medicine, and when something is funny, your endorphins are just like, released. Everything is great. And I love laughing, so I love humor. In Vino Veritas, drunken confession. I love that. Drunken confession's really good. Especially if the person doesn't remember confessing the day after. Because let's say, okay, so person A and person B, right? Person A goes to a bar and they drink a lot, and then person B is called to pick up person A, and person A ends up confessing and maybe even kissing person B, and then they pass out. They wake up with a hangover the next morning and they don't remember what happened. So person B is heartbroken because they don't know if person A was serious or if person B was joking, or then they have to also realize, like, what if person B originally didn't have feelings for person A, but once person A confesses, person B kept thinking about it, and now it's stuck in their head, and they don't know, wait, do I actually like them too? I love that. I love that. And then it makes their communication a little awkward, and then person A is wondering, person B, why are you avoiding me? What did I say? Did I tell you something while I was drunk? Person B would be like, you didn't say anything. And then there's miscommunication, and there's a little angst, but then they make up. Hurt and comfort. Okay, first kiss. Oh, first kiss is cute. First kiss is really cute, because a lot of times they say first kisses are special. I don't know if it is. You tell me if you consider your first kiss special. But I think the way they set a story around a first kiss, and like everything ends up being kind of warm, like the atmosphere becomes warm and romantic. There's hearts everywhere, and it's like very vulnerable. The couple's in a very vulnerable place to be sharing their first kiss with each other. And then it can also add into the possessiveness a little bit, because like, let's say person B liked person A a lot, and then they get person A's first kiss. Now person B is like mad possessive, like, I was your first kiss. You're mine. That type of thing. No take backs, that type of thing. Okay, magic AU. I'll put that with fairy tale AU because, again, it's kind of similar. I think it also depends on what kind of magic. I'm not really into like wizards, warlocks, but if it's more like powers, like I'm trying to think, powers, like superpowers, that's okay. Magic AU. Yeah, I think it depends on how the magic is used, and if it's like it puts the couple in an awkward or funny situation, and that's good. Like for example, like the first kiss, like maybe you have to kiss, you have to get true love's first kiss or you'll be stuck. Or it kind of, see, magic also kind of goes hand in hand with bang or die also, like they're cursed with something and they have to do this in order to break the magic. So I put them on the same tier. Miscommunication, yes. The backbone of all K-dramas. The drama would only be 2 episodes long if there was no miscommunication. I'm serious, guys. All books would be like 2 chapters long if there was no communication. If there was no miscommunication. Like, don't you ever watch a show and you're wondering, guys, just talk it out. Stop avoiding each other. Just say what's on your mind and stop hiding things from each other. But instead, the characters have to keep things a secret because they need to have angst and pining and stuff. So miscommunication is great. However, it can get you really frustrated when you're watching K-dramas because you get kind of frustrated with the characters when they're being stupid. You're like, okay guys, this is ridiculous. A little bit is okay because it's funny, but now this is ridiculous. You're really hurting each other, and this is gonna turn to a really toxic relationship if you don't talk to each other. That's kind of why I was disappointed with the ending of Yumi's Cells, because the miscommunication they had was so stupid and so easy to fix, but just no one wanted to talk to each other, and so they broke up. And I was like, why would you break up this couple? They were so cute together. Yeah. Missing scenes, mid. Missing scenes, I think, might go into Fix It, but Fix It I feel is more like post-canon. Missing scenes are like during canon. So we could still have like a sad ending, but there are some missing scenes that show vulnerability or interactions that we might not have expected. I do enjoy them, but I feel like I want them to really impact the rest of the story. If it's just a missing scene that, you know, could be easily edited out and then doesn't affect the story, then for me I'm kind of like, it's a snippet, but like I want there to be more of a transformation, if that makes sense, to the plot or to the characters or their relationship. Mutual pining is so cute. Mutual pining. And then if you take that and add it to arranged marriage, like, can you imagine if they both like each other, but they don't know the other likes each other, and then arranged marriage, and they're worried that the other doesn't like them because they're in an arranged marriage? Or like mutual pining and sharing a bed. Wow, that must be so hard for them, you know? I love that. And then it's a great way to have fluff, because they'll probably be really awkward with each other, or trying to be caring towards each other, and each of them misconstrue it, again, the miscommunication, thinking that, oh, maybe they're just being nice and they're being friendly, not that they like me, and you know, back and forth, that type of thing. Sex pollen. Sex pollen is pretty much the same thing as Bang or Die, so I'll just put it on the same level. It kind of goes in with magic, it goes in with Bang or Die. It's pretty much like about the same thing, I would say. Pregnancy fic. Again, pregnancy fic is, I feel like, similar to baby fic or ABO, so I'll put that on the same line as well. It's cute if you have fluff though, if like, you know, like let's say one half of the couple is being nicer to the other half that's pregnant because they're excited that they're having a baby. Like, that's cute. Yeah, sometimes, so like I said, sometimes you want fluff. Sometimes you want plot lines. Sometimes you want porn with plot. The best of both worlds. You got porn and you got plot. Actually, wait, no, then that's the case. I should actually put it up here. It's the balance, guys. It's the flavor, you know? To have multifaceted stories that have both soft, touching moments, wholesome moments, and then some sexy, hot moments is like a great balance to have in a fic. Okay, almost done. Royalty fic, I'll put that with fairy tale. I feel like fairy tale, magic, royalty, they all kind of go into the same thing. I don't put it with historical because I don't think I necessarily need to have like a king or a queen or a kingdom, because the problem with royalty fics is that often there'll be a big political component that falls in. So sometimes I have to be in a mood, for example, to watch a historical K-drama, because it's always going to be political. It's always going to have to do with concubines and overthrowing the king, you know? And sometimes you don't want to see people betrayal and backstab each other and take bribes. And so, like, I feel like royalty AU, at least, you know, the political court, that needs to be something that you're in the mood for to read. For me, at least. Okay, we're almost done. Slow burn. Yes. I do love me some slow burn if you add in sharing a bed and hurting comfort and huddle for warmth and miscommunication and all of that into slow burn. Slow burn is just a little nice little extra flair, so that your story lasts longer. I mean, you don't, sometimes I wanted to just really ride it out. You want to really see how the progression of the relationship goes, because it doesn't make sense. I mean, unless it's love at first sight and they're just automatically together. That's not usually what happens. Normally, you know, they'd be indifferent to each other, or they would not like each other, and then the slow burn makes the story tastier when they finally confess to each other. Okay, soulmate AU. Ooh, I like this. Soulmates. I do love me some soulmates. I love soulmates that are also enemies to lovers, by the way. Can you imagine that you hate your soulmate and then you find out that you're destined to be with each other, and you want to fight destiny and fate because you're thinking, this can't possibly be correct. I hate them. But then you realize that wait, but they're the only one that actually truly understands me. Soulmates. Would you want to find your own soulmate? Do you believe in like the red string of fate, or that some people are just destined to be with each other? And if you do believe in it, do you hope to find your soulmate? Do you want a soulmate? I don't know. I think it's really romantic and beautiful to find someone who is born to be with you, you know? Like, that's romantic. If they're a good person. If they're a bad person, then forget about soulmates. I mean, like, humans got free will, so, you know? But if they're a good person and they truly honestly care about you, then I think the soulmate AU is a really beautiful trope. Okay, time loop. Yes, I love time loops, similar to time travel or historical AU, where maybe like something happens and then they die, let's say, and then they wake up and they realize that time has rewound and they have a chance to undo it. So I put that with historical AU because there's a lot of time traveling component to it. However, they're kind of stuck in like a Groundhog Day situation, but it's cool to see them maybe learn by time traveling back and looping. They get to see and learn certain things about others that they didn't necessarily know about the first time because they weren't paying attention or looking for it. So it's a good. I'm trying to think. Are there any K-dramas that I've seen that has a time loop? I know there's the movie Groundhog's Day. That's an American movie, but yeah, time loop is an interesting concept, I think. But for me, my top 2 ultimate plot tropes are time travel and parallel universe, where the main character meets their doppelganger. I love that so much. I wish there were more stories like that, more shows like that. If you guys know any, please let me know. Time travel and or alternate parallel universe where the main character meets their doppelganger. Yeah, that's kind of why I really liked Outlander, because it has the time travel component. That's why I liked watching the Vampire Diaries back in the day, because the main character had a doppelganger. I thought that was really cool. And so, you know, sometimes certain people might know you, but you don't know them. But it turns out it's because they don't actually know you. They know someone that looks exactly like you. So, especially if that other person that looks like you, if your doppelganger is evil, and then you have to convince others that you're not evil, it's your doppelganger. Okay, love triangle. Yummy. Very yummy. Love triangle, very yummy. But it can also be hurtful, because often when I'm watching K-dramas, I do end up liking the second male lead a lot, and so then you feel really bad for them because they also deeply care about the female lead, but it just wasn't in the cards for them. They were set up from the beginning to be the second male lead. I often get second male lead syndrome, which means that you like the second male lead and wish that they had a chance as well, but you know, it's how it is. But yes, I do love triangles. It helps with the miscommunication, it helps with the jealousy, it helps with mutual pining, you know, and then it adds a slow burn component to it, because, you know, it's gonna be really messy for 2 parts of the triangle to like confess to the same person, you know. Or what if it was a triangle, but it all went in one direction? Like, person A likes person B likes person C, and person C likes person A. Is that a circle then? No, that's a triangle, right? No, it's a circle, right? Because it's all going in a loop. We don't often get that. We get triangles. We don't get love circles. Okay, unhappy ending? No, never. Unhappy ending is... Nope. I don't know if I need to even explain unhappy ending. I like closure, and unhappy endings do not give me closure. So, also, why would you put your characters through hell and then give them an unhappy ending? That's sadistic. That's mean. Okay, and then finally we have unrequited love. I put that with A because I like unrequited love, but then it turns out it's actually requited. I don't like unrequited. I mean, so unrequited love is sad if it's like in the love triangle, because then the second male lead is stuck with the unrequited love. But I like unrequited love if it ends up being requited later on, especially if it's like in an arranged marriage or a fake relationship. You know, it makes it really cathartic when their love is finally returned. So yeah, those are all the tropes. Wow, that was kind of long sorting all of them. Those were all the tropes. So in my S tier, to recap, I have Amnesia Fic, Body Swap, Dark Fic, Canon Divergence, Enemies to Lovers, Fix It, Humor, Drunken Confessions, and Porn with Plot. In the A tier, I have Arranged Marriage, Sharing a Bed, Crack Fic, Crossover, Established Relationship, Fake Relationship, Fluff, Friends to Lovers, Hurt Comfort, Historical AU, Huddle for Warmth, First Kiss, Miscommunication, Mutual Pining, Slow Burn, Soulmates, Time Loop, Love Triangle, and Unrequited Love. In the B tier, I have ABO, Baby Fic, Bang or Die, Fairy Tale AU, Magic AU, Missing Scenes, Sex Pollen, Pregnancy Fic, and Royalty AU. In C tier, I have Coffee Shop AU, College AU, Gen Fic, and High School AU. And in D tier, which is really not my cup of tea, it's Angst, Major Character Death, and Unhappy Endings. What did you guys think of my ranking of my tier list? Do you agree or disagree? Feel free to comment and let me know. How would you rank these fics on your own tier list? I'll link the Tiermaker in the description so you can rank for yourself. Again, any of these are your favorite tropes or your least favorite tropes? Yeah, I want to know. I want to know what you guys like in fiction. But other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed my Tiermaker today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!